What's going on, guys? It's the people from the Minority Report. Today we got Marcus, Terrence, and me, like always, because we're the only three guys in the Minority Report. Again, we don't have anybody else to be talking to, so today we're going to be talking about a few things. Before we even go into that, again, a like and subscribe goes a long way, so go ahead, click that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us. Go ahead, check us on the Coaches Vault .com. All right, read all our blogs. We post these videos on our blog as well. And then also check us out on Instagram at the Coaches Vault. We'll announce everything that's going on then, so you guys can get in-depth look into what we're doing daily instead of just these videos. But anyway, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to have two topics, but mainly we're going to focus on the first one. Marcus came up with this idea, but I came up with it more or less and tweaked it and made it better because I'm better than Marcus in every single facet. You're welcome. I love you. Anyway, okay.
That's a short man complex going on right now.
I do have a short man complex. Anyway, okay. We wanted to talk about how we program and do we actually program for our clients, or do we have like an intuitive training program that we kind of utilize for our clients? So, I mean, I want to leave this open for all of us to kind of talk. So, whoever wants to talk first can talk first. What do you guys think about it? Yeah. All right, go ahead.
For me, I've always been more on the intuitive side, but always kind of like in a mindset of programming. Like, like I wouldn't write out 12-week, 16-week, or like 24-week programs for myself. But for me, like I get bored easy too. So,
yeah,
like, for 3 months, I might just want to get big as fuck and just grow some shoulders and back and chest and shit like that. For the next 3 months, I might just want to do a lot of conditioning-based, cardio-type, body weight, calisthenic workouts and things like that. So, however I'm kind of feeling based off of just what my mindset is, sometimes, like, the time of the year just might inspire me a certain way, or I might just be doing a lot of research in a certain area, so I just kind of get inspired in that type of training. So for myself, I pretty much keep it open for me. Like I said, before COVID was like, hit us the way it did, I just randomly got the bug to start powerlifting again after like 3 years. So then I jumped right into powerlifting. So for me, like, it's a big feeling thing.
Yeah.
I've always, like, even if I did have an idea of how I'm going to train for the next couple of months, I would have an idea of like how my workout would be when I walk in the gym. But if I always felt like, today's a strong day, I would just kind of take it there a little bit. If today was a weaker day, I would, just taper down maybe in the weights or the intensity I'm doing or something in that case.
So question for you, man. Real question. I'm sorry about interrupting you. So for a powerlifter, I feel like it's like, how would you not be able to program for yourself? Because like everything is all based on numbers. So it's like, don't you need to know what you lift the week before, 2 weeks before, so that you can try to break that particular particular weight record? So that
I think so. I'll answer a little bit of this one. That doesn't necessarily matter for the fact that not all of us do progressive overload. You're thinking the progressively overload situation. I mean, like having a bunch of feeling, or like there's different methods. Like he can be talking about undulating it. I mean, we're like, he's doing it by feeling, and like one day will be on a low side, the next day will be on higher, kind of like that. So like we don't have to hit our numbers every single time. I mean, it goes with everything else. If we don't feel like 90% that day, there's a reason we don't feel like 90% that day. So I mean, I think in the long grand scheme of things, you gotta think about it the same way as bodybuilding. Like you wouldn't go like today, like you said before we talked, like the other day you felt like 225 or 275 was light when you did your front squat. All right, well, that's a heavy day. You felt good. You think you're going to do that shit next week? You know what I mean? Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So, like, I mean, you're also Marcus, and you make no sense. You know what I mean? So, like, I can't tell you what you're going to do, but, like, it's very intuitive of how you feel. So, yeah, if I'm going to go ahead and piggyback off Terrence now that I'm the one that's talking anyway, I do the same thing. So, for me, it's a little bit more strict for my own programming because I do get bored easily, but I get sidetracked too often. So like,
what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so like I'll get into something and then all of a sudden I don't like it. and then I'll just transfer over. So I never stick too long to a program to actually feel exactly what's going on because I get bored way too often. So I'll be like, all right, well, I want to learn this. Oh, well, I understand it. Now I'll move on to this. But like I don't finish it, or I get too bored, or it doesn't work well. So for me, what I like to do is I like to, especially with like the Savage teaching that I'm doing, is that I planned blocks for programming that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to stick to it. But again, I'm very intuitive. So like on certain days, and I'm very adaptable. On certain days, if it doesn't work out, I'll cut a set or I'll add a set. I'll go be like, oh, I want to go heavy, or I'll just always change it up depending on my day. But like if I'm doing like, let's say triphasic, I'm going to do triphasic for that, for until it's done. Yeah, because if not, then I'll just get fucking sidetracked. Like, oh, I'm just going to go bodybuild, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. I have to, I hate writing my own programs for myself, because on that same fact, like I'll only do things I enjoy instead of things that get me better or focus on my weaknesses. So like if I have full range to go ahead and decide what I want to do, I go off the deep end. Like I forget.
Have too much information.
I have too much information. Give me less, let me focus, and I'm going to go ahead and kill it. But for my clients, I like to have a skeleton, and that's all I do. I have a skeleton. I have maybe like 4 or 5 weeks of what I think I want them to do, and then I go from there. So it's very intuitive of like what they want and how they want to do it. I don't like to do like 8, 9, 10 weeks of a program, and then all of a sudden like they don't feel it anymore. Then all that work was for nothing. So
don't you feel like a program, especially for clients, give them that sense of like comfort? They're like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is how you you show the progression.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
That,
exactly. And it doesn't need to be 12 weeks.
Understandable, but
yeah.
Don't you want to also play into the fact that your body is like a machine? So the more that it does a certain pattern, the better and stronger it gets at it.
That's the point of the skeleton. So I'm not saying. So let's just say this is kind of looks like my skeleton. So this is a squat day and a push day. Okay, they'll squat. Okay, they always have the same variation. They'll bench. They'll do a pull variation, and that squat they'll always do that. I'll switch the variations weekly of like a dead bug or this. So they're still doing the movement patterns every time they come in here on a Monday. But maybe for like 4 weeks, we'll do eccentric of that. And then maybe for the next 4 weeks, we do ISO. Maybe for the next 4 weeks, we do like dynamic, or we do max effort. You know what I mean? The skeleton stays the same, so they understand the movement patterns that are going on, but it's not in such a 12-week period that we're progressively overloading to the point that it's so strict that I can't adapt.
Yeah, it's like the structure is there, but the specifics just change up a little bit.
The specifics change up often, because then it also bores me. And what I like is that it gives me feedback for them, because then they'd be like, all right, well, I like this eccentric stuff. I feel really strong there. All right, well, maybe we'll add another week here, or maybe we'll do something. You get me? So
I get what you're saying. But what do you feel about the companies that like they want you to program and stick to a program for X amount of weeks? Like, how do you feel about that? Depending on what you just said, because if you're making a skeleton program, like, yeah, you have your basic movements and you're able to, manipulate it. But like to a client, you know what I mean? Like when you're speaking to them, like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing over the next 8, 12, 16 weeks. And you show them like the breakdown of it. And then you start to deviate from that program a little bit. What do you say to them about that?
I mean, so if I had that situation, first off, I wouldn't put myself in that situation that I wouldn't be allowed to adapt. I feel like as a coach, if you do not have the power to deviate or adapt to any situation, then it can lead to like a client being injured because you're so focused on the program. So I think what I tell my clients is that I give you stuff that you want, and I give you stuff that you need with a little sprinkle of what you want. You know what I mean? So like this program here is what we're kind of going to do, but I might adapt it to you. And what it builds is trust, because it allows me to tell them that this isn't end all be all. And if you don't do this, you suck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I don't get 12 weeks out of you and you don't get stronger, it's your fault because I did this. But what it allows me to do is that, hey, how do you feel week 2? Like, is it working? Okay, then week 3, maybe we'll go up. Maybe week 3, maybe week 4, we need a deload because I don't know their specific. So, like, I like to have a general program and a skeleton of my movement patterns. But then from there, I kind of adjust to them or what I feel like they need. Yeah, because like, let's say you write a 12-week program and this is exactly what we're going to do. And let's just say they move beautifully. Like they're so strong that you have like 4 weeks of goblet squat. And like they're lifting, like they're goblet squatting 100 pounds for reps. You know what I mean? But like you don't program a back squat for like until week 6. Are you going to wait till then? Would you wait until then to do that if it's on because it's just on the program? No. Like why not like transition them earlier? Why not transition them sooner to get them better quicker? I mean, so like if you're so defined by what the paper says, I mean, and not able to adapt, like what's the point? You can just give them the program yourself and just be like, here, do it.
So do you believe
exactly what you're saying?
So do you believe that trainers should have a more not structured program, but like more of like just like you said, a skeleton? Like, hey, we're gonna be covering these areas, but ultimately we're gonna train kind of intuitively. Like we're gonna train different muscle groups depending on how you're feeling. Is that kind of like is that how you feel like trainers should go about it?
Yeah, for sure.
I think on the goals. It depends on your demographic too.
Yeah.
But I think like the way that Evan is describing is kind of like the way I look at it. It's kind of like loose programming. Like you kind of see based off of their starting point, what they're doing now, where it can go long term, but you're going to make little deviations in between. Sometimes, honestly, as trainers, we change shit because we're bored. Like I was doing a certain hip workout I was doing a certain lower body warm up for like the last 2 to 3 months for clients. And I just told them like, look, what we were doing is fine and it's working, but honestly, I just want to give you something different now. And I want to put other things in your brain that you can do, because you might get stuck in your brain that this is the only way that you should be warming up for squats now, or the only way that you should be warming up for like deadlifts and whatnot. It's like, we're going to take that foundation, we're just going to expound upon it, or we're just going to make little switches, a little deviations like, hey, you can also do this, because if you don't have this equipment or you don't have this space or availability, here's another thing you can do if you get put in this situation. It's like, it starts putting things a little more in perspective for them.
It's about education. So like you give them a chance to adapt, allows them to like, I like this more than that. Let's put this in the program. Yeah, because like, again, like these people are coming to you for help. So like, if you can teach them as much as you can, be like, hey, like, let's just say like, I don't like this glute activation. Can we start doing that? You know what I mean? If it works for them and it gets them more efficient for whatever they're going to do, then yeah, let's do it. So like, you also got to put into the frame of mind, like injuries and stresses can happen if you get so structured that, let's just say you program back squat for like 6 weeks and stuff like that. You get a hip thing. Would you make them do another back squat? Like, would you make them keep doing back squat until they feel better? Or would you kind of like just go ahead and adapt and regress and figure out what's going on? Or like, let's just say like one day, like I came in and they ran and they have a hip thing. Hey, we have squat scheduled. What will you do? We're still going to do it because it's on the program? No. You know what I mean? I'm here to make you better. And even though you fucked up my program, I'm not going to make you do it and hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm going to have to adapt. So we're going to regress and maybe we'll do a single leg movement today. I mean, I'm not so bad at that. Or like, let's just say like one of my clients is like, I hate rear foot elevated. We do it so much. Can I switch it for reverse lunges? Yeah. I mean, it's not the same shit, but it's the same shit.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So like, why wouldn't I be able to? So that's why I get so like,
so heated. It's a little passionate.
I get a little passionate. I get a little passionate about it because I feel like as coaches, we should be able to adapt. And that's part of our job, is to adapt to our clients. So if we're so set and structured, we're not flexible at all. You get me? That's how you get hurt.
Program. I don't think you should ever marry an exercise either. Like, and
exactly.
I think sometimes you get caught in those positions with certain mindsets of trainers and coaches and stuff like that. It's like there's no one way to do all of it. And to be completely honest, if you're working with the general population, they're gonna laugh at a 24-week program. It's gonna be overwhelming for them. They're not gonna know what the fuck that they're looking at. Like, you can have 24 weeks in your head, but walk them through it week by week, 2 weeks at a time. Even if you want to write it out for yourself, go ahead. You know, but I can guarantee if you're working with a regular person that just going to work and they have a lot of life things that come up, a lot of that time you're really just working on trying to keep someone fucking consistent. You know what I mean? Making sure they show up, trying to teach them the fundamentals and the foundations of training. 24 weeks of something that you think is going to go like planned accordingly, I can almost guarantee you 99% of the time it's not going to go out the way that you think.
So I'm definitely with it.
Your brain would see long term, but, you know, be prepared to definitely take a couple swings as you're going through with that journey.
No, I'm definitely with it. And I think that's where, you know, a lot of the coaches, trainers need to realize too. It's like, you know, when you first assessing your client, you know what I mean? Maybe the first 4 weeks is like, all right, we got to get you back to being able to move like a normal human being again. Then after that, that's when like the real fun tends to come in, you know what I mean? Where we can just randomly put stuff into the program, you know what I mean? Where that you wasn't, you know, thinking about, you know what I mean? Because like, you know, if they have an issue with their hip hinge, you know, I'm not going to throw certain exercises at them if they can't do a proper hip hinge or they can't do a body weighted squat. But once they learn how to do stuff like that, then it's like, okay, we can squat, we can deadlift, we can do like, you know, kettlebell swings. But those like the little things you gotta like. I think programming it should be like a 4 week period, you know, like a 4 week block.
I like blocks too.
Blocks are good, like a 4 week block. You know what I mean? Maybe 8 weeks, but I think 4 week blocks, depending on what the situation like is at that moment, is how you should always target it. So good discussion. I like it. I like to pick your brains. I'm sorry that I got you so heated over there, Evan.
I'm all about it. You know how you know. I woke up. You give me something I like to talk about. I talk about it. I don't give a fuck. No, but I want to just say one more thing. I'm not gonna say this passionately. I wasn't trying to be angry. It was just, I was an angry individual.
Jersey thing, bro. They're not angry.
Jersey thing. Yeah, it is a Jersey thing. But so it also with like us being adaptable and stuff like that, it also comes with us continuously learning. So like with us learning, like, hey, like let's just say like my hip flow that I taught Terrence and stuff like that, I taught everybody, he started putting it into his program. Would he have waited 4 weeks until his program ended to start putting that in there, or would he just have added it in? It's the kind of thing of like, well, once we learn new things, you shouldn't just wait to add it in. Maybe it's going to help immediately. Maybe it's going to help in 2-3 classes and stuff like that. So as we continue to learn, and of course, like education is important, and we should be reading, we should be learning, we should be talking to each other and stuff like that. Once we learn more things, like we add it into our client stuff, maybe they love it. Maybe it's the best thing that ever happened to them. You never know. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if it's tomorrow or it's 4 weeks. Like it should, as soon as you learn something new, you should apply it as quickly as you can. Other, if you can't teach it correctly, then don't do it. But if you learn it, then go ahead and do it.
I do want to go back to the original part that Marcus said though, because when powerlifting, that is when I do my most programming, but it's definitely more in a sense of tracking what I'm doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So because I do need to know, and I hate, that's the one thing like I do hate about powerlifting. Like even though you don't want to try to make it about the numbers, it's really a numbers game, you know.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you do have to pay attention to what numbers that you're touching on a weekly basis, kind of put that with percentages and what your rep ranges are and things of that nature. So it's like, all right, maybe today was supposed to be a heavy 5x2. Last week I did at what was 85%. Maybe I did 300 pounds. So maybe I have a program that 3 weeks later, I'm going to do another 5x2 at 85%. So I'll be hoping to do maybe a 305 or a 315, you know, following that time. But sometimes that shit don't always work that way. So if I could just get a consistent range, especially with the stronger you get, the more your fucking numbers fluctuate.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, facts.
That's 100% sure.
Like people that are like new to it, it moves a little more on the linear side just because it's like the honeymoon phase and everything is just working out for you. But when you start getting like some years in this shit, dude, like every little factor plays a part, you know? So I started teaching my brain like, all right, just because this day might have been a couple pounds short than you wanted it to, still look at the long game of it. If you're still in the range of the numbers that you want to hit, you're moving in the right direction. You know,
Yeah.
so and then at the end of the day, whenever we're powerlifting training, we're getting ready for a meet. That's why I tell people too, like if you're really like into the powerlifting game, you better be fucking competing too, because you're trying to really build up for that moment of the competition. You don't want to make sure that you blow your load a couple weeks before that designated day that you're going to compete. You know what I mean? So if you're just doing powerlifting training with no end goal of a competition, what's the big moment that you're getting ready for? There's nothing to really like base it off of.
Yeah. I think it goes to the fact that like if your clients or you yourself are like have an end goal of like competing into something, especially like in weightlifting, it needs to be more structured in kind of a more like linear sense, like Terrence is saying. If you go all over the place and it's too intuitive, you get me, you don't know exactly what's going on without having it, knowing what's going on, then you're not competing, you're not doing well. So I think as you like in any sport or whatever like that, you have to know what's going on. But if we're going to talk about general clients, then being as intuitive, you get me, like hitting marks here and there isn't that big of a deal. You get me? It's not like you're going to go ahead and have this one client and like, all right, in 12 weeks, we're going to go in the powerlifting meet. Like, bro, like I just wanted to come here and train. Like I didn't want to do a powerlifting meet. Like, no, we're doing it. So like, it's just that it's allowing yourself to be structured, but being flexible. But like, if you're going to go for end goal, it needs to be more scheduled and more structured than what we're talking about. So you have to understand, it's understanding the goals of everybody else. And then
that's
going
really
ahead and
the big one
it.
right there. Like if you're getting ready for a Spartan race or something like that, you do need to know what your mile times are looking like over time. You need to know even like what your dead hang strength might be looking like, hanging from monkey bars and all type of shit like that. Like you have to have something to kind of measure it. Doesn't mean that if you have a day that, you know, just kind of fell off. If you have one bad day, it's not bad, you know, but you do have to, as long as you're seeing progress over the time, some days are going to fluctuate. Maybe you didn't sleep good one day. Maybe you're just not fucking into it one day. That's not the end of the world. I always say pay attention to the consistency of what you would consider a bad workout more than just one bad workout after every good 5 that you do or something like that. If you're consistently having 5 shitty workouts in a row, then you probably need to look at yourself. If you know, if you just have like an off day in between a bunch of good, great, and excellent days, I probably wouldn't worry too much. You know, maybe you should just kind of keep trusting what you're doing and just understand that, you know, today wasn't your best day, but the consistency of the effort and the progress of whatever you're training for, if that's moving in an upward direction, then you're probably doing something right.
Yeah. I think that goes into the fact that just understanding when you guys need to take some time off and stuff like that. Like if you're gonna have this intuitive program, you have to be really responsive to like looking at your clients and knowing what they're capable of and seeing that dip into effort. I mean, there's not like they're gonna tell you. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But like I talked about before in another vault talk, like if you do not see your clients need a deload or need some time off from what you're doing within a week or two, then you don't know your clients well enough. I mean, like I could see a bar move and I know the speed of it. I mean, I can tell like, oh, she's not moving that fast, or he's not moving that fast. He's not hitting the depth right. All right, well, I'm going to give it a week. If we still don't feel well with what's going on, it's time to back it up and then reapply to it. I think, like Terrence is saying, like like a needle in a haystack kind of situation where like you just have one bad day over a fucking great day, it's going to happen. You get me? Stresses of life and stuff like that. But if it's consistently bad, if like, let's just say, like going back to Terrence's analogy, if like you had to hit 85%, that's 300, and today you hit 200 because like it was the heaviest shit in the world, you need to look at what you're doing. Yeah, like no shit. I mean, like I know it's I know it's not even close, but like I'm saying maybe like within 20 pounds. Let's just say your number's 300 and you're hitting 280 and it's heavy. You have to look at it. I mean, I'm over exaggerating, but like 20 is a problem. 15's a problem. 10's all right. 5 is good. You know what I mean? you can be 500 and still get an effective lift in. Like you
But
still
like you still have to realize too that percentage that changes based off of how much you're lifting.
exactly.
So 85% when you're squatting around 500, the poundages get a lot different. It's not just as little as 20 pounds sometimes. It can literally be different from like 30 to 40 pounds.
Exactly.
Shit, no matter what, 500 pounds is 500 pounds. That shit's gonna be
500
That's
pounds,
what I'm
yeah.
telling people. 500 pounds is, I don't give a fuck how much you
500
weigh.
pounds. Yeah, that don't matter.
Like, that shit's gonna be heavy no matter
Exactly.
what.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so when you did bring up that point earlier, because you know, back in my heyday when I was squatting more normally around like the 500s, I knew that when 225 or 315, even though it was still moving, when it just felt heavy on my back,
Yeah,
it's time
it wasn't a day. Yeah,
just
it wasn't
felt
a day.
heavy on my back. Like, all right, you know, maybe all the training that I've been doing for some time, it might be time to start just slowing down, period. Because people look at it like, damn, that shit's moving good. I'm like, that shit's not feeling how it normally feels, though. Like, I know what that shit should feel like on my back. It feels like it's fucking crushing me.
Yeah.
It's different when you start really getting into those heavier numbers over time.
Yeah. It's a feeling game. I think when it comes to us and as experience like tells all of us, yeah, I mean, if it doesn't feel right, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for a reason. You gotta regress, you gotta look at what you're doing. And something that I've been doing a lot of is just like writing down what I'm doing so I can kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah, I think people do need to keep track of what they're doing. And especially when you're in certain like training modes. Powerlifting is a numbers game. You need to know what your numbers roughly are.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding is more of a feeling. Yeah, you do definitely need to push weight, but at the end of the day, you need that right stimulus to where you're getting your full range of motion, you're getting enough volume in to where you're not breaking down in position too much. Like, it's more definitely of a what it feels like today type of thing, opposed to like some of these things to where it's more like set in stone of like the things that you're doing, like whether it's powerlifting or like I said, whether it's like running a marathon or something like that. It's more of a numbers game that you got to kind of keep following.
For sure.
Gotcha.
For sure. Yeah.
That was nice.
That was a nice little thing. All right. So we'll make this one a little quick because we are kind of at that 30-minute mark. Okay. So Marcus came up with this one. So, like, what are some things that help us get into flow, like, in regardless to like programming, like writing, blogging, or like lifting and stuff like that? Like, what are some things that really get you kind of motivating, kind of get you into that zone? I'm gonna leave the floor up to anybody, really.
It depends. Everything comes down to depending on what you're doing at that time. Like, if I'm doing a blog, my best writing for a blog is when I'm more creative is when I'm high. I'm not gonna lie. It rhymes. It rhymes.
The poet.
No, but because it just gives you that sense of like relaxation, this clarity of what you really want to think about and write. So sometimes, people just can't fully get all the information out that they really want because their mind is bouncing all over the wall. And sometimes when I do smoke a little bit, that's able to help me zone in and focus on the topic at hand, which is why, I'm able to put so much effort with some of the writing that I have because I'm able to like just zone in on that. But when it comes down to training is like a whole nother ball game. Like I want it, that also is another field too, because there's times where I would want some heavy metal playing in the background, if I'm doing like legs or something, but then I could switch it up to like some nice R&B, next thing you know, I'm lifting heavier with the R&B than I did with the rock music, like the punk rock music, So, but it really comes down to like music with lifting, just get into that field because like this the song, this like a certain song, a certain beat just captures like your mindset. And it's like, yo, I'm about to, excuse my language, fuck this shit up real quick. Like I'm about to fuck this waist up. But no, it really comes down to things like I think everything that you do in life has its own trigger that's gonna get you to that level to where you need to. You just gotta find it.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same and kind of different. So for me, obviously I'm really introverted, so I like to be alone. So for me, it takes me a little bit to zone in, but once I'm zoned in, I don't allow anything to zone me out. So I don't need like if I'm writing or something like that, I don't need music. I don't need anything. I need the TV off. I need the dog to fall asleep. You get me? Like I don't need anything distracting me. Like, but like maybe it'll take me a second, but once it takes me like maybe like 5-10 minutes, like I'm writing and I'll write the whole thing in maybe like an hour, like whatever I'm writing. Like I write that fast because like it's just like.
Where were you in college when I needed help with my papers?
Writing my own papers like you should be doing. Anyway, but yeah, if I'm really interested in I do that. But when it comes to like, it depends what the day is. Like if I guess it happens more if my stress level and what's going on. If I'm training by myself because like at Alpha, like it's just a small gym, so like I train by myself. I have nothing going on. I'll turn off the lights and I'll listen to nothing, and I'll just train. You know what I mean? Just get into my own thoughts, like figure out what's going on with me, be really introspective, and just train. But like if I'm training hard or whatever, if like I'm in like this phase of like I want to go ahead and kill whatever I'm doing, like for me it's all about the music. Like it needs to be loud because it allows me, like Marcus said, to zero in, and it allows me. So like I'm watching The Last Dance, and the one word that's really present, that's really like showing everything, is the word present, and being in the moment and being in the zone, allowing nothing else to kind of like block your focus. So once the music's in my head, you get me, and I just look at what I'm doing, like I have nothing else in the world other than that. So kind of music, like for me, it's just hip hop. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll throw on 90s, sometimes I'll throw on like some trap music, sometimes I'll throw up some like J. Cole, Kendrick, and stuff like that, some real introspective stuff, and it kind of allows me to zero in on what I'm doing. If I'm maxing and stuff like that, I need somebody to smack me on the freaking back, and I need some sniffing salts. I need my routine. Like I need all this. Like I need a lot more for what I'm doing, but I need to actually understand how important heart rate plays into focus. And I think that's what usually happens when a lot of people get over anxious. And I kind of get over anxious when I'm doing something I'm not used to. So like having all that stimulus kind of fucks me up. So I guess for that, I can't give you an answer because I'm still trying to learn how to. Damn, bro. I went deep into it. But yeah, go ahead. You can go, Terrence, before I keep talking.
I was saying like real quick, like damn, like it's like you it's too little, you don't do good. Too much, you still don't do good.
Yeah. I mean, it's for me. It needs like I don't need to be perfect, but it needs to be in like at least like it needs to feel right for me. You know what I mean? Like if it doesn't feel right and like it's not like just at the moment. You know what I mean? Like if I pick up the bar and it wasn't like in the right spot, I'm not gonna fucking do it right now. I'm gonna have to come back and realign myself. That's just me. Yeah, I mean, like it doesn't need to be perfect, but it needs to be right. That's it. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, for me, well, in the sense of writing blogs, I used to think like when I was younger, I could do all this multitasking, have the TV on, play music and shit. I need quiet, man. Like when I'm like in like writing mode, like sometimes it gets me a while to get started, but I'm like the same with you. Once that shit goes, dude, like I can't stop.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, like, and then I'll read back and look at all the fucking errors I did when I was writing.
Yeah.
Like, my shit just, like, continues to go.
At least you don't. At least you capitalize your eyes, unlike Marcus.
Well, autocorrect didn't do it.
It kills me every time, bro. It kills me every time.
Maybe his eyes. Maybe you're not looking at it.
It depends on the mode of training. Like I'm the complete opposite. I don't want anybody slapping me on the back. I don't like to sniff insults and shit like that.
Yeah.
I do get fired up like if somebody's like I get fired up off a challenge. That does it for me. I'm very like for me when I walk into a gym, the first thing I'm looking for is like atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because like you can be in some facilities that have the dopest fucking equipment, but it doesn't feel like anything. You walk in some gyms that's like minimal, but it just comes with a certain atmosphere. It comes with a certain vibe. That shit makes me want to go to work. You know, like when I walk around and I'm seeing everybody, you know, I don't care if the person's on the Stairmaster. I don't care if the person's slamming heavy weights. I don't care if the person's just like doing like aesthetic, trying to look good work. Like when I just see people like focused in and just like going hard at whatever their goal is, I'm like, all right, this is where I need to be. You know, that shit fires me up. Now I feel challenged. Now I feel like if I'm not putting effort in this spot, I don't even belong here. You know, so I do. I really get even for my clients. I tell people all the time, I don't really give a shit about your starting point. I want to see where you start taking yourself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm more impressed by the person that went from struggling with a 45-pound bar to squat 225 than the person that comes in already squatting 315 with perfect form. Like I'm literally watching you grow up in the gym and, you know, like challenging yourself. You're motivated.
We all did it.
Yeah, like that type of shit does it for me. Like seeing those success stories, seeing those testimonials, or just seeing that person might not be the strongest, might not be in the greatest shape, but every time they come in, they're working. You know what I mean? Like those are the people. Like I there's certain clients I would always tell them, I'm like, yo, your fucking work ethic, dude. I can't wait to fucking work out later. Like you got me fired up to get my shit off later. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the challenges is what made me do some crazy stuff.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like squatting 225 for 50 reps. I would have never thought I'd done that, but like my entire life.
Who puts that in their brain to do that?
Exactly.
Shit?
Exactly.
You're walking in the gym be like, yo, I think I'm gonna just do 225 for 50 today.
I also think Marcus is lying about somebody challenging him to do that. He was just like, I'm just gonna do it.
No, 100%. That was 100%.
A challenge?
100%. Yeah, it was a challenge.
Okay.
Actually, it was actually by my own coach.
Oh damn.
Because he challenged me to do 225 for 25, and so I banged that out. And then so I was like, yo, I'm like, that's like wasn't that bad. So then the following week he was like, all right, try 225 for 50. And I was like, you know what? We at the gym, we lifting. I'm like, yo, if you know what, fuck it. We just start. I'm like, I'm about to go win. And then I get to like 25 reps, and like my ass start cramping. I'm like, oh shit. But then he's looking at me like, yo, let's fucking go. And like he said, you gotta get that 50. I'm like, crap, fuck, I gotta go. And then next you know, like your second win hits out of nowhere, and then like you just zone in. Like you literally zone in like out of nowhere. And
you have to.
The weight just feel heavy, like light again, and you just keep going. And then next you know, by the time you're done, you're on the floor blacked out.
I have a similar story.
Can't breathe.
Like that. Yeah, I have a similar story like that. It's actually on my fucking Instagram on one of my IGTVs. So one of my boys was throwing together like a squat, bench, and deadlift party, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a rep challenge thing. So we did 225. So whoever the 225, I was tied in first place with the other dude. I forgot what number we hit. It might have been like 35 or 36 or something like that. So when I found out I was tied with him, I was fucking pissed. And I ain't like that shit. I was like, I'd rather have just fucking lost. I didn't want to be tied, right? So what they made us do for deadlifts, it was 225 rep out challenge for deadlifts. They was like, all right, in order, because neither one of us did the bench press challenge. I knew I wasn't going to get over 12 or something like that. So I said, fuck it. So we did the deadlift challenge. They set our bars up in front of each other. I had no idea how fucking strong this dude was until afterwards. Right? I didn't even know. Like, he ended up like deadlifting 650 in his lifetime or something like that.
That's crazy.
Damn.
I beat him out that day, like rep for rep, because I was looking at it. I was like, "There's no fucking way I'm gonna let him deadlift in front of my clients, bro." Like I had clients there and shit. I was like, "Fuck that, dude." I'm like, whatever I'm doing, I'm not letting go of the fucking bar. So we ended up stopping. I think he stopped at like. He was probably stopped at like the 50s or something like that. So I was already fucking beat, but every time I just kept fucking repping, and then I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this shit for another minute. I don't give a fuck how tired I am.
What was the weight?
It was 225. I hit that shit for like 66 reps that day.
Holy shit!
My hamstring was sore for 10 days, dude. I think I had like a mini tear in my hamstring. I couldn't even bend them shit. But it was just like you get put in that zone. I said, I'm not letting go of this fucking bar, bro. It's like you're literally gonna have to carry me off of this bar. I'm like, I'm not dropping it.
I don't blame you.
So,
God damn.
like that, dude, that shit is like a whole nother animal that comes at you.
Evan, we had one up in Nepal, and we was doing a dip challenge, and we was going head to head on dips.
Oh yeah, dude. I forgot about that one. I forgot about that one.
That was the day we literally just went. I think we both hit like 40 reps on dips after
I'm really good.
Long chest day.
After a long ass chest day, that's the one thing I'm fucking good at. That's the one thing I can keep up with you at, because I have to weigh nothing.
Your arms are short as fuck.
And my arms are short as fuck. And I went. Like it was like backwards jerking off. Like that's really what I was doing. Right, but yeah, I remember that shit.
But that's what the truth is. Like, you know, when somebody gives you a challenge, like sometimes you go into another level, and like you probably would never hit that level ever again. You know, like
no, like you have to literally take yourself. I'm never gonna want to deadlift 66 again. Like,
if you're by yourself, you never get there. But if you have like, you know, a group of people who's really challenging you, you probably do it again.
That's why I love. That's why I like football weight rooms, dude. Like outside of the scary like form and all that other shit that goes with it, like that type of energy though, you don't find that shit, man. Like,
no,
not at all.
That shit, I don't give a fuck who you are, dude. You'll walk out of there trying to do something like different, or you'll walk out of there like with a feeling of accomplishment, man. That type of energy and camaraderie that you have behind that. That's why I love small gyms for that reason too. Like you'll have the experienced person over in the corner doing what they do, then you'll have the beginner person over doing what they do. But there's an energy that everybody just like, yo, we're in go mode and we're here together, and everybody's gonna push and stay on that same energy that we want to be in here right now. So,
bro.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to be a person that really enjoys challenge and stuff, because some people just don't have a competitive bone in their body, but we all come from this, you know, fitness lifestyle, and we all play sports before and shit like that. So it's just kind of like instilled in us, you know. So it's awesome to even see like beginners that even go in with that mindset. Like, look, I ain't where y'all at, but I'm gonna fucking work like I'm where y'all at, you know. So when I see people with that type of mindset, I'm in go mode. Like, you're going to have to drag me out of this gym at this point.
Oh, for real, man. I love it. All right.
Yeah, I feel like training now. I'm going to do mad push-ups after this.
It would have been great if Leo was here and we talked about that. He would have felt the same way. He had the bar in the back. He just started squatting and talking. I got to train now. No, get the hell out of here, Leo.
No fucking warm-up. Just going straight to a 405 front squat.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, man, that's all I got. I don't know if you guys got anything else. All right, well, all right. So this is for the viewers. We're going to be talking about that programming topic with the other guys, just to get some like deeper conversations going on. So you might hear the same things if you guys watch back and forth, but I'll try to make it interesting. I'll be passionate again. I'll just start yelling for no reason.
There you go.
Yeah, but this is for the viewers again. All right. Hit that like and subscribe button. It does it helps us out a lot. Follow us on the Coaches Vault at thecoachesvault.com. Follow our blog. Okay, same thing with like Instagram. Okay, go ahead, like our stuff because we're awesome. The Coaches Vault. All right. And I thank both of you guys for hopping on today, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yes, sir. Take it easy, huh?
All right, guys.